I want to go out to the campaign trail at this moment in time because I get my good friend David Bossie, and you guys know David. David, hey, good to see you, David. You're on the bus. You're literally on the bus, are you not?
We're on the bus in Pennsylvania. There's a group of us that have been traveling around the state on behalf of Donald Trump, and we have a tremendous group here on the bus from Senator Joni Ernst to Byron Christy Nome, Pam Bondi, Monica Crowley. It is an unbelievable group.
What a fun group!
We've come together because we understand that if President Trump wins Pennsylvania, he wins this whole thing. He has other paths to 270 without Pennsylvania, but we are putting our time and effort into him winning Pennsylvania because it really seals the deal for President Trump.
You know, David, I think it's important just for the viewers. Most people know you, but just in case they don't, I mean, this guy is pretty darn good when it comes to campaigning, because David was the deputy campaign manager back in 2016 in that successful campaign. And, you know, I'm seeing some similarities, if you would. I really am, because I think in 2016 they had a candidate that was very unlikable. I think they got themselves, unfortunately, that again. I keep saying she's a lemon. I mean, Biden was a lemon too, in different ways, and he just got a little too old for the job. But she's not really appealing to people. We keep seeing sound coming in of everybody all over the country. MSNBC is shocked every time they go out to do a man-on-street interview with a group that should theoretically really like Kamala Harris. They don't. And you're there in Pennsylvania, you're talking to people everywhere. I'm sure you're seeing a lot of Trump supporters, given you're on the bus. But what are you hearing from people? What is their big concern?
You know, it's very interesting. We have traveled. We are right in Pittsburgh right now. We were in Erie. We were in Punxsutawney. We are going to Chambersburg. We're going to be in Hershey. We're going Philadelphia. We're going to be and we'll continue to be all over the state this week and next on this bus tour. It is running into people from all walks of life, men, women, young, old, white, black, Hispanic. It doesn't matter. Across the gambit of citizens that live in Pennsylvania, they're scared of Kamala Harris. And what I mean by that is they're scared of their futures or lack of a future for themselves and their families. They are nervous about crime policies. They're nervous about the open border policies. They're nervous about the horrendous economy that she is responsible for by being that tie-breaking vote for the Inflation Reduction Act, which was obviously, misnamed. But it is. We just see people. We're seeing.
It was the Inflation Act
coming out. Right, it's right. And so we just keep seeing people who are afraid of their futures and their families' futures, and that's why they're coming out in droves for Donald Trump. And we're seeing that, Trish, just quickly, we're seeing it through the voter registration numbers over the last 4 years in Pennsylvania. We've cut the deficit in half. Over 550,000 more Democrats than Republicans statewide, to about 260,000 more Democrats than Republicans statewide. It's an enormous victory. Before voting even started, the state party, the RNC, the Trump campaign really did an amazing job of registering voters. That puts us in a position to win before the election, before voting even begins. And now we are seeing the data that is coming in, and we're seeing that the early vote, have closed the gap from 2020 and 2016, and Donald Trump is positioned. He is positioned so well to win this state, and if he does, and when he does, he becomes the 47th president.
It's history in the making. Do you have any hesitation? Let me go to a little sound for you, David, and I want to get your reaction, because I've been playing this. I'm a little alarmed, if you would, over Kamala's constant talking about how she's going to deal with November. Now, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but, I run a little bit scared. I want to play this for you and just get your reaction. Here we go.
Because some people find it humorous what he says. and think it's just silly, but understand how brutally serious it is. Well, the courts will take care of that. We'll take care of November. Yes. We'll take care of November.
Okay, so that's my question. David, bringing you back in, she says, we'll take care of November. What does she mean?
Yeah, I hadn't heard that sound before, Trish. That's a very important thing. I'm gonna be thinking about what she means.
Okay.
Clearly
Not to sound the alarm bell, but I think it's a very real possibility that you see a lot of momentum. Pennsylvania, where you are right now on this bus tour, if he takes Pennsylvania, I think that's a pretty secure path to 270. But there's going to be some upset people. I remember Hillary Clinton back in 2020 advising Joe Biden to not give up no matter what. And I was sort of astonished when she said that. So I wonder if we're going to be looking at a hanging Chad type situation all over again, no matter what.
Yeah, I think that they're going to want to lead, unlike 2020 when they were behind and then in the middle of the night they pulled ahead when people were asleep and people woke up to 800,000 votes mysteriously arriving overnight. I think they're going to want to lead in Pennsylvania from wire to wire, that they're going to want to have a lead early and keep the lead. And our job is to make sure that we have more votes than they do, and any shenanigans that happen, we have a big enough buffer to fend it off. And we have a battery of lawyers ready to do battle in the courts for President Trump, and that's another thing that we're ready for. Quite honestly,
they've been working.
In 2016 or in 2020.
You're like single-handedly, or he's single-handedly supporting the law profession there. Just all the cases and all the lawfare against him. Okay, back to Pennsylvania for a second. Are you getting to the Amish country? Because I read a piece the other day that was really fascinating. All the Amish people that are expected to come out and vote in droves. I'm looking at some of the data on how the RNC, and credit to Lara and the team there at the RNC, they've been able to really whittle down that advantage in early voting quite significantly, more than cut it in half, in terms of helping the GOP to get a little bit of an edge there. And it's not officially an edge, but they've certainly cut down the edge that the Democrats have had. Where are we?
Yeah, so a couple things. One is cutting into the early vote is vitally important. So anyone who's listening, and I don't care what state you're in, but especially if you're in a battleground state, please go vote early. Bank your vote. If you are what we call a high propensity voter, we don't have the time, the money, the resources to chase your ballot. You have a responsibility to bank your vote so that we can take those few precious resources that the campaign has to go and chase those ballots of the low propensity voters, the people who don't vote often, the people who aren't out there and openly for President Trump. So we need that. Secondly, we were in Punxsutawney, we were in Newcastle, we're in these places that have the Amish in and around those communities, and we heard from a Republican Party leader after leader who were saying to us that the Amish who don't vote in big numbers at all are coming out and organizing and getting registered and working with the party to make sure that they are able to vote, and they're voting in big numbers right now. And so we're excited about that because we just need small incremental gains in a little bit here and a little bit there, Trish. Joe Biden took Pennsylvania by 81,000 votes. And so that is, what you're dealing with. And we need to just win. We need to win bigger margins in a bunch of different places, and we're going to win Pennsylvania. And Pennsylvania then makes Donald Trump the 47th president.
Really? I mean, you think that is the state that it comes down to? I mean, what about Michigan, Wisconsin?
No. So let me just, if you want me to, the path to 270, which
you have an article I saw on Fox today, all about the path to 270.
Yeah. So I did the path to 270 in 2016 for President Trump, along with Steve Bannon and Kellyanne Conway, Jared Kushner. There's a lot of us, not just me.
Yeah.
However, when we were developing the strategy, we had many paths to 270. We ended up winning, I think, 304. It was a landslide against Crooked Hillary. But this time, I believe, and I truly believe, that North Carolina is in the Trump column. I truly believe
Wow.
that Georgia and Arizona will snap back. That they have seen the mistakes that they have made by voting Kamala Harris in 2020, and they are back solidly. I don't believe that Joe Biden's record is doing anyone any favors in either of those two states, and so we're gonna win Arizona, I think, fairly easily. Georgia's going to be tighter, but we're going to win it. And so my point is, once we have those three states, along with all
Okay,
of
which
the
one? So
normal
North Carolina, Arizona, and
Arizona
Georgia.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if once we have those three back in the column, we're right around 260, and once you're at 260, you need one of the following states. You don't need to win them all. You need either Pennsylvania, or Wisconsin, or Michigan, or Minnesota if you want to stretch the map a little bit. And by the way, or Virginia. You need one
Sure.
of those five. You just need one. You just need to win one of those five. And the three that I mentioned first, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, are literally statistical dead heats, or Donald Trump is leading by one or two. So it is an incredible path. There are multiple. But if we win Pennsylvania, the
Yeah.
reason that Joni Ernst and and Matt Whitaker and Kash Patel and myself and Pam Bondi
I just
and
saw Whitaker
Byron
just before we
Donalds,
came on live.
yeah,
I think he walked behind you.
yeah, exactly, and Byron Donalds and Christy Nome are all on this bus. We have a tremendous bus of patriots here. The reason that we're investing this time is to put Pennsylvania in the Trump column. And if we do that, this thing is over. And so but we need everybody to vote. Anybody listening, if you have already voted, thank you. If you have not voted, get your butts to the polls early. Bank your vote. We need you to bank your vote. Go in person and vote. Get the absentee ballot and hand it in personally. Whatever your state allows, go do it so that we can chase those low propensity Trump voters that we can go identify, and that's what those precious campaign resources need to go towards now.
It's just amazing. Look, it's incredible to see. I look at the prediction markets. I look at the polls. I like what Nate Silver's been putting out. It's a little bit more of like a financial model, which is one of the reasons why I like it. And he's looking at a lot of paths to 270. It seems that Donald Trump has many more, which is why his prediction model as well is favoring Donald Trump at this point. The last time that happened, they pulled Biden, right? When Nate was like, okay, well, like the prediction model shows, it looks like Trump's going to win. They pulled him, but they can't pull her. So I think
Too late.
Too late. It's less than 2 weeks away now at this point. Listen, I'll let you get back to all your campaigning. Wow. Good stuff there in Pennsylvania. I know out talking to the people. What do you hear? Just curious before I let you go. What is the number one thing? Is it the economy? Inflation?
It really is. Here
Yeah.
in Pennsylvania, the economy is, and then the border and immigration is a close second. But it's really the economy. These people want the boot of government off their backs. They want freedom. They want hope. They want Jack Kemp's hope, growth, and opportunity for everybody across not only Pennsylvania, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, but across the country. They want freedom and opportunity, and that's what they see that Donald Trump will give them is a pathway to peace and prosperity, as opposed to 4 more years of American carnage that we've
People
seen
can't take
under
it.
Joe Biden.
Yeah.
And that's really what we are hearing, and out on the tour, and we have a couple hundred people outside the bus right now that everybody else is out there talking to, and trying to make sure that they have either voted or going to vote, and are going to talk their friends, their neighbors, their colleagues at work to make sure that they go out and they vote early for Donald Trump.
Well, you heard it here. Right from David. Get out and vote. Hey, David, good to see you. I'll let you go talk to the people. It's very nice. It's very nice to see you again, my friend. David and I used to talk all the time.
Thanks so much. I hope to come back post-election, and we'll
I think you'll have something to celebrate. We'll see. Thank you again. David Bossie. Good to see you.